I'm back and beautiful and bald and playing Minecraft. So generally my mission in playing Minecraft is to make the entire world one level. And these mountains are certainly getting in the way of that. Okay, well, I think because I started to dig from the bottom, and so I'm not sure how far it goes, whether I should get rid of some trees. Maybe over here I need to get rid of some trees. Probably over here. Okay, but I will make it the same level first. So if there's cobblestone. Oh, let's see if there's anybody watching. No, nobody is watching my poor little channel. My poor little stream. So yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to tell this story as well as I did on the first version of the stream today, but I have a landlord, and the landlord is very Polish, and um, and so my washing machine broke, or at least I thought it broke. So I call him and I say my washing machine broke, and I spent a few hours trying to figure out how to fix it myself. And I was even like, well, I could buy a new washing machine, and he probably wouldn't know. Probably wouldn't realize that I bought a new washing machine. So I could buy a new washing machine, right? Um, so that was one idea, that buying a new washing machine. But then I thought, like, you know, it's not really my apartment, and I'm not even sure I'm going to stay here longer. So, oh, damn it, Adam. Oh, you keep. Oh, can't I go over there anymore? I think I made like a little. I think I made a hole so I can't cross it anymore from that area. Yeah, I can't. Oh, no, I can. No, I can. No, I can. I have to go this way, though. This way, this way, this way, this way, this way. And I have to go over there. And okay. Yes. Yeah, so it's broken. So he's like, okay, I'll come over. And so he comes over and he looks at it and he presses the same buttons I pressed and it doesn't work. And he's like, doesn't work. And oh, this is the funny part. He's like, where's the manual? And I'm like, I don't know where the manual is. And he's like, I'm sure I left the manual here because, and a guarantee, because why would I take it to my place? And I'm like, because you own the washing machine and you should have important documents where you live and not where people who rent from you live. That's maybe why. Anyway, he's insistent that I have the, maybe not insistent, he's pretty sure that I have the guarantee. And I'm like, I don't have the guarantee. I don't know what you did with it. I don't know what you do with the manual, because he doesn't seem to be one of these guys who has like maintenance, right? He's not like a big maintenance guy. So I think we have pretty similar personalities, I would say. So he is probably how I would be as a landlord, you know, like, you, of course I'll fix it. I have no idea what I'm doing, but of course I'll fix it, you know, of course. So he says that I have the manual, which, as I mentioned, I do not have the manual. I don't know where the manual is. The manual is gone. So he looks at it. He's like, okay, I'll call an appliance repairman to come and look at it. So the appliance repairman comes and well, actually, it's a bit more complicated than that. So he calls the appliance repairman who's going to come today. But yesterday, he calls me up and he's like, I have a brilliant idea. And I'm like, what is your brilliant idea? He's like, I'm going to turn it off and turn it on again. And it should work because it's like a computer and it'll reset. And of course, that's the first thing I tried, right? Because if you go on the internet, that's what they say the first thing you should try is. And that's what he found on the internet. So he comes over with this brilliant idea and he's like, let's unplug it and see if it works after we unplug it. So we unplug it. It doesn't work. It does the same thing. So basically it's stuck on one program and there's like this flashing light kind of deal that says that the door is open. So he goes home. He's quite disappointed. So today he comes over and it looks like he's been crying. Like at first I thought he was crying, but then I smelt some kind of smoke and I was like, maybe he was smoking marijuana because, you know, he lives by himself. So I think I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, he seemed a bit upset about something. Maybe what was going on in my apartment. So anyway, Get out of my way. Did you just jump down there? Oh. Well, it's not like I told you to jump down there, honestly. Yeah, so the appliance repair guy is supposed to come at 4 o'clock. So he's at my apartment. Like, my landlord is always late for things. Ah, damn it. Maybe not always late, but he taking the llama with me. He's late for a lot of stuff. Anyway, so he's supposed to be at one particular time, and he's not. So he's supposed to be there at 4, and he's not. He comes at like 4:30, and then so the guy's supposed to be there also at 4:30, and so I got to go up there, I guess. So the guy's supposed to be there 4:30. He's not. 5:30 comes, and we're like making awkward small talk in Polish. And then he calls the guy, and the guy is like, "Oh, I'll be there at 6:30." So 6:30 comes around, and he is nowhere to be seen, this guy. So my landlord calls, and he's like, "Hey, man, where you at? What's going on?" And then the guy says, "Oh, I'll be at your place in half an hour." So basically, in an hour. So my landlord lives near me. So I say, "Hey," because he's like, "Oh, I'm very hungry." I'm like, "Well, why don't you go home, get some dinner, and I'll call you when the guy comes." So then I'm waiting, and I have time to speak to my kids who just got back from a summer holiday. And so then the appliance guy comes, and he's basically like, he does one thing on this stupid machine, and it works, and it works. And I'm like, okay, but there's the I gotta do it from the top too. Yeah, so fire. Uh-oh. Okay, this tree definitely has to go. So yeah, the appliance repairman comes, and he says something like, so he presses one button and the thing works perfectly. He's like, no, it's not broken. You just have to press this cancel program button. I'm like, okay. It's weird because I pressed a bunch of buttons, my landlord pressed a bunch of buttons, and it didn't work. And we were like arguing about, I like him, but he's got this like, he's very sure of things, that did not actually, they might not actually be true. See the manual. And I don't know if I said this, but basically he was like, yeah, the manual must be there. Did you look in this thing where your clothes are? And I'm like, why would I keep my clothes with a manual for a washing machine? It's very strange. But anyway, um, the appliance repair guy comes and he fixes it. And he's there literally 5 minutes. He doesn't even fix it. He's like, yep, this is just the button you need to press. That's all. And so the drama starts to happen when the guy leaves, because we know theoretically that there's nothing wrong with the washing machine. But um, oh no! I gotta chop down this tree first, though. So we know theoretically that there's nothing wrong with the washing machine. Oh, I hate this big ass tree. So we know theoretically that there's nothing wrong with the washing machine. And so when we were there, when the appliance repairman guy was there, he opened the door with ease. And so we do the thing that the appliance repair guy told us to do. And we are trying to open the door on the we're trying to open the door on the washing machine, and basically you have to wait 5 to 10 minutes for it to open. But my landlord is not very patient, so he's trying to get it to open in like 15 seconds, and I'm like, no, you have to wait. And he's like, no, he was doing it, it was working. And I was like, yeah, it was working because he was waiting. So basically the next half hour was us trying to figure out how to get the door to open. And basically I was like, I'm going to put a timer on and then we'll wait and then we'll see what happens. So eventually, and he's like climbing around on stuff trying to find this mythical manual that he's sure is somewhere in my apartment. Yeah. I need some axes to get rid of the trees up here. Kawasaki Ninja Ha! There's too much dirt everywhere. Brandy, you're a fine girl. Run right into the cow. The cows voiced their complaint. Well, if you didn't want to be run into by a madman who's trying to make the world flat, I would suggest going somewhere else, doing something else, being someone else. Yeah, so after I put the timer on, the door magically opened. Although honestly, I was also a bit impatient because I was like, I need to get this man out of my apartment so I can play Minecraft. I think I've devastated this mountainside. Oh dear. Ah! It's too high. No, no, no. Don't do that. What? Ow! Mm, okay, I said I was going to check the chat. When my shovel broke, my shovel broke. When my shovel broke, 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 when my shovel broke. That doesn't count because that was almost broken anyway. Maybe just need to get it down to like 1. So Yeah, I'm really concentrating getting rid of this dirt. So much dirt. It's raining dirt. Hallelujah. It's raining dirt. I know it's a fun song and everything, but if you actually think about the implications of It's Raining Men, it's horrific. 'Cause, for the first time in history, it's raining men, but where did the men come from? Are they happy about the fact that they're falling through the sky as rain? I would not be happy about that. I would be freaking out. Not that I would be one of the men, because I think that they have higher standards of which men it would be to be raining. So much stuff. It's quite geometric, these shapes, but Oh yeah, this is the part that's too high to do. Ah! I always complain about, why do you do that? It's this stupid, like, Microsoft thing where you move your cursor over in one direction and they're like, do you want to read news? Okay. These trees must go. That's kind of why I wanted to get an axe and just go wild for trees again, but I have a shovel, so I'm gonna go wild for. Gonna go wild for dirt. What am I even doing over here? Hold on. Well, I'm deforesting this mountain and removing the mountain. Wait a minute. But yeah, this is the way I need to go. Ugh. Ooh. Tyler the Sketcher, 6. Oh, I have 2 people watching. Wow. Hello. Tyler the Sketcher 678 says, "Hey, what's up, dude?" Not much. I'm trying to make the world flat still. My Minecraft world. I ran out of material to build my pyramids, so I believe I've seen you on the stream before. I might be wrong about that, but I think I have. Okay, I gotta get rid of this weird little outcrop thingy. Oh, you telling me it's too far for me to do that? Okay. Okay. Now I have to. I hate working. And I've made my Minecraft experience work. I mean, it's fun to cause utter destruction and stuff, but be much quicker with dynamite. Check the chat, check the chat, check the chat. What's up? Because I'm really scared that I'll have to build some kind of tower to be able to like get rid of like floating dirt blocks. I don't want to do that. I wonder if you could build. Probably not. But it'd be cool if you could build in Minecraft like vehicles, like wagons, and because I was thinking that you could build like sort of stairs with wheels and you could just push them around so you wouldn't need to build like blocks. Oh, no. My shovel. My shovel. I'll just express my random thoughts. So I'm doing this thing where I'm watching all content connected to Superman, like every movie, every TV series. And so I watched I watched Smallville, which is crazy because it's 10 seasons. And this is when shows had like, you know, 21. I think Smallville has 22 episodes per season, and each episode is 40 minutes, which is ridiculous. And I don't know if you know, but Smallville is actually the longest running American sci-fi show. But sci-fi is a bit of a stretch because he is an alien, but the alienness works more like magic, I would say, than being an alien. But so anyway, I watched Smallville, obviously the new movie this summer that came out. I watched Superman and Lois, which was a CW show with the worst ending in history, even though people really like it. Because basically, Superman dies. And it's not, I mean, he dies twice. He dies of old age, and he dies, I mean, his heart dies of old age, so he dies. But also, this is kind of weird. I'm just thinking about that plot. It's more and more crazy now that I think about it because Superman does die of old age, but his body doesn't age. His heart died of old age. So basically, when you bury Superman, there's like a scene of him being in heaven, and why it's ridiculous is not that he would be in heaven because I don't know, maybe he converted to Christianity or whatever. I don't know. I don't know his spirituality. But anyway, the ridiculousness of him being in heaven is that some of the characters in the show are shown to be in heaven as well. Characters who are still alive in the time period of the show when the show ends. Like his children, like very weird. In here. Yeah. So it's not only weird about his children, it's weird about what was I going to say? Kind of got distracted. I got distracted because I was trying to concentrate on Minecraft and talk at the same time. Really hard. So anyway, Superman and Lois, even though it has really great moments, the ending is absolutely atrocious. So I watched that. Basically, it took me all summer to watch Smallville. So not exactly productive use of my summer, I would say. But yeah, I what was I going to say? Yeah. So anyway, this is a long story for what's not going to be a very good reward at the end. Let me tell you. So anyway, I wanted to watch Lois and Clark. So Lois and Clark, if you don't know, was this sort of like, they say it's romantic, but I don't know how romantic it is. It's basically showing, it's more about Superman actually, but I'm still only in the first season, but it's showing Superman and Lois's relationship when they're reporters in Metropolis. And it makes sense. It does actually. It does make a lot more sense than some other iterations of the Superman on TV. I think maybe it was the first time to show like Lois and Clark's like actual romance on TV, but it makes a lot more sense in terms of Superman's character, or Clark Kent's character rather, that he meets Lois at work, because in Smallville, most of his major characters he meets, like most of the people who are important in his life, he meets when he is 15, basically. So he meets Lois when he's in high school and she's out of high school. He meets Lex Luthor when he's in high school. You know, he meets Jor-El when he's in high school. I think that, so they did it well to make like Lois a coworker, and also the Smallville was created by CW, so basically people have jobs in them, but they rarely actually do their work in the CW. I don't know if you noticed that. But yeah. So the thing I like about Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, is that they are actually, they're good reporters. They actually report things. And I also like the fact that there isn't these, like, maybe there will be, but there's not every week something that's going to destroy the earth, because I think comic book movies and comic book media nowadays, they always go for this, like, yes, this threat could destroy the world. And superheroes are not just for situations where the world can be destroyed and ended. They're also for situations where like low-level threats, like Superman helps with the launch of a space station. Also, which is great, and I think in Smallville, I guess the explanation in Smallville would be that Clark doesn't actually learn how to fly until much later, and it seems to be some kind of hang-up that he has because his cousin can fly. His cousin being Supergirl, Kara-El. So she can fly, but he can't. But the way that they do it in Lois and Clark is actually really nice because, and I get that they just wanted to show off special effects and stuff, but Clark, when he's by himself, he'll like float around. Oh, that's a plummet. That looks dangerous. So he'll float around. There's one scene where he's walking on the ceiling. And he doesn't, I like also that his flying is not like aerodynamic. There's no like big whoosh when he lifts off. It's just him. Floating up into the air. And so that Superman and Clark Kent are played by, what's his name? Dean Cain. And that's a stage name. His real name is something Japanese because he's Japanese American. And he was famous recently for some comments that he made about Superman being woke, like the new Superman being woke. And people were like, what do you mean Superman being woke? He is an immigrant, right? Which is true. And I haven't gotten to this part, but there is like a scene where his character is basically like, hey, yeah, I'm an illegal immigrant too, Or maybe that was in Smallville. I don't know. I don't remember exactly. But his portrayal of Superman, I could understand why he would think that other portrayals of Superman are woke. Because, I don't know, it's hard to say. Like, he's really sexist, and he... oh, no, I can't go down there. He... he touches he touches Lois's bottom, which is like, okay, a bit creepy. Because, and I realized something also, that this show, because I always thought that I grew up with Christopher Reeve's Superman, and that was my first experience with Superman. And probably I did watch that movie when I was a kid. But this show, had much, and I love the character of Superman, but it's this show that was the more influential in how I see Superman, I realize. But yeah, so he does a bunch of like things, and it's actually kind of an interesting portrayal because, you know, the criticism of Superman is that he's like this big Boy Scout and he never does anything bad. But Dean Cain's version of Superman is a bit of a menace, actually. I mean, he doesn't do illegal things, but, he's playing cards with his coworkers and they're all talking about, like, oh, what it would be like to play cards with Superman. And they're like, oh, yeah, he would never cheat because he's a man of honor and honesty. And meanwhile, uh, Clark, who is actually Superman, is literally trying to uh, look through uses X-ray vision to look through the cards, and he's only prevented from doing that because, and that's actually a good scene too, because he has like cards like this, so he's trying to see the person's cards, but the cards are back to back, so he just sees paper, right? So that was really well done. And another thing that I liked about it, well, I'm still watching it. I'm only on season. I hear that the ending of it is really, really strange because they were expecting it to be renewed and it wasn't, and it was just like suddenly canceled. So there's lots of loose ends. But yeah, another thing that I didn't really expect is, like, yes, Clark is 100% a creep and a douche, and he probably would have like sexual harassment, at least be sent to some seminars about it nowadays. But what I liked about it is the style, like they work in this corporate environment because, the Daily Planet is this corporate entity. It's like one of the most successful media companies of the time. And it's really weird to say that a newspaper was like super successful, but this was just when the internet was starting. So I guess they could afford that. No, but not afford that. So yeah, but I like the style. So Clark, it's great. Like you can tell that this was big budget television at the time because Clark has all of these nice suits and nice ties. He looks really great. And there's some scenes where he'll have like a suit and tie combo, and it will be like one suit and one tie. And then he'll come out and he'll have like a completely different suit and tie. And in story, there isn't actually a change in time. It's just basically like a different shot, and he's wearing something completely different. And I think it's not about continuity. It's more like, hey, we're going to like, I don't know, we're getting paid to show these clothes, so we're going to show these clothes. And I don't think that I have the money to dress like that, but sometimes I'm like, I wish I had paid more attention to fashion because I was a teenager at that point. And it's a bit old fashioned the way that he dresses, but like it's super elegant and super nice. So it would be cool to have suits like that because, they are unique now. I'm out of. Whoa. Ow. What do you think? More shovels? I do still have some pickaxes. Also, I said about Lois Lane's character being like a good journalist and being really driven to be a good journalist, which I think in the movie we see that, the movie that came out this year. But in Smallville, it's just basically her job. And I think Erica Durance is the actress who plays Lois Lane in Smallville. She does a really great job. And her chemistry with Tom Welling, who plays Clark Kent, is like really off the charts. It's really like amazing. And it's really great to watch them. But you wouldn't like, it's just, so the story says like she's one of the best journalists in the world, right? So you're like, okay, yeah, she's one of the best journalists in the world. But actually, you don't really get that feeling. But with the portrayal of Lois Lane in Lois and Clark, you do get that feeling because she is one of the best in the world. And so the actress who plays her is Terry Hatcher. And I had completely forgotten about this, but Terry Hatcher was like a sex symbol in the 90s because of this show. And she was in Maxim, and yeah, she was, I mean, quite attractive. And she went on later to be in Desperate Housewives, I guess. So I think most people would know her from that, but she got her start. Well, maybe she didn't get her start. She began life in, she became super famous in Lois and Clark. So yeah, super, super sexy, as I said, in Maxim. But she's definitely attractive, but I don't know. Like you could also see her play somebody who's unattractive, Not that she's unattractive, it's just her sort of the way she looks could also, it's hard to explain. Just look up Terry Hatcher from this time period and you'll see what I mean. And then apparently, because this was the beginning of the internet, one picture of her naked wrapped in Superman's cape exists, and it was like the most downloaded picture in the internet for a while. And I looked at it, and I have to say, the internet was not very impressive back then. If that is the most downloaded picture, was the most downloaded picture, because it's an okay picture, but I was expecting a little more risque stuff. Anyway, the reason I started talking about this is like crazy because so I'm almost on season 1 because I was watching um, Smallville on a site where you can watch, but there are ads, right? So, like it's free, but with ads kind of thing. So I was watching that, and I think that's why it took so long, because it's 40 minutes with ads. But it kind of felt less lonely. Even streaming Netflix feels less lonely because so I couldn't find. So basically, the conclusion is that I couldn't find Lois and Clark on any streaming site that was free or available where I live. So I downloaded the episodes. And also crazy is how quickly you can download stuff now, because back when I sailed the seas, it took days to download stuff. And now, like, I went and made myself a sandwich and I had like the entire season downloaded. So craziness. Um, um, yeah, so I was watching it, and even though it's really quick, uh, watching these episodes, it also felt kind of lonely because there's no ads and there's not even like the like when you watch just downloaded television and it's just the shows, it's just that you realize, yeah, I'm just watching a television program from 1993. There's nothing else about this. There's no ads to make me think, or there's not even like to let me like feel like I've made some kind of progress. No, it's just this thing. All right, where do I start? I think I should start over here. Also, my boss did this. My current boss, who we changed, he gave me some kind of project to work on. Um, I guess because he's a little bit worried that I'll lose my motivation because I'm going back to a different team in a few months. So we had the first meeting, and he invited this one guy to his meeting, and basically, I don't understand the point of this guy's job, honestly. Like, he works for one thing. And basically, he just gives opinions. Like, that seems to be his job. Give opinions all day about things. I also applied for that. And they were like, oh, you don't have a lot of experience with this topic. And I'm like, no, I don't. But I am a quick learner. And they were like, oh, we'll give it to this guy because he has more experience. But I don't know. Maybe there's parts of his job that I don't see. So it's easy for me to be critical of it, but I don't know. I think I could do that job. Still 2 people watching. That's pretty amazing. It's already, oh, Jesus. It's getting late for me. Mining cobblestone, mining cobblestone, just a mining cobblestone. Oh, yes. It's raining. It's supposed to rain. I don't know what the sound effect for when you mine cobblestone kind of feels like when you put a box on another box in real life, or like you drop a box down gently. I don't know if that's really the case or not, but yeah, I'm going to do a bit of a tour of what I've accomplished. Um, I don't know. I did a lot. I don't know. I have a feeling that this is a lot harder than when I was doing the other side of the island. Okay, I'm going to finish. Thank you for watching, but I'm just really, really tired, and I was streaming for about 2 hours in total, although I deleted the first one. But thank you for watching. Enjoy.